So they're trying to get the single adults across, right? And this, again, I'm not saying this is correct or right or just at all. I'm saying it's what's happening because of our system. That's how they're responding. So they're sending across the single person because that person's got a shot, or a couple savvy kids who will support each other, and a couple get through. So a couple get through. They sit in there. They get set up someplace. They let the people know, hey, where I'm in, and now they send the kids alone. And they connect anyway. This system isn't working.
Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, whose district includes El Paso, says those numbers will grow. But many of the single adults are the same people trying to cross multiple times.
Every time, keep going.
Title 42 doesn't address anything. It doesn't solve anything. It basically postpones the inevitable. None of these policies that push people and limit their legal avenues do anything in the long term.
Thank you. When you limit their legal avenues, it does nothing in the long term. Yeah, we could change that, couldn't we?
In an op-ed for the New York Times today, she wrote, quote, Americans must finally acknowledge that the real crisis is not at the border, but outside it. And that until we address that crisis, this flow of vulnerable people seeking help at our doorstep will not end anytime soon.
What no one is mentioning here is that one of the major reasons why they're coming is because of our terrible policies in their countries. Our war on drugs, our interference with their governments. We're making sure that bad things happen. We're increasing the drug war, right? Why? Our drug war in America created gangs. So what do you think our drug war created in those countries? Gangs. Yeah. So what are they fleeing? Gangs. Who made the gangs? We did. This is no different than when we were bombing people in the Middle East, creating refugees, then mad when refugees come to our borders. We'll stop bombing people and we'll stop making refugees. We're doing the same thing here. Our foreign policy is a huge problem. Stop forcing them to deal with their drugs the way we want them to deal with their drugs. Cartels will begin to go away. Drug gangs will start to go away. It's going to take time. It's not 5 minutes. But that takes time. Now, I showed you a video from 7 years ago. If we changed our policy today, 7 years from now, we'd be in a different position because people wouldn't be running away from gang violence within 7 years. I mean, it would take time, obviously, but that would happen. We don't do that. Not just that, our laws we still have laws from Cold War I, back when the Soviet Union was like, if you're fleeing the communists, you can come to our country and gain asylum from communist dictators. Well, yeah, we did that because we wanted all their damn scientists and their Olympic people and such. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Those days are over. The concept of asylum should only be when there is actual things like genocides and things of that sort. And then Congress or the president should make an exception. For example, if there was another Holocaust, the Armenian Holocaust, right? I mean, whatever murder, slaughtering, the people being slaughtered in Yugoslavia, make that an exception. Let them come. They are literally fleeing a genocide. Okay, I'm in. I'm prepared to bite the bullet on taking in people from a genocide. Yes, but internal gang struggles? Why does that get asylum under our law? And it does. That's the problem. They can apply for asylum, and they shouldn't be able to. It's our system that shouldn't allow that. There's a better way of bringing them across. But if you are fleeing a genocide, I'm on board. I know some of you libertarians might get angry at me for that, but I don't care. Some Republicans will be mad at me. If you're fleeing a genocide, you can come. I'll give you that. You get a pass for that. When they're putting your people in camps, or when they're gassing them, or putting them up against the wall and shooting them because of who they are, I'm all right with that. That one I'll make the exception every day of the week. No worries. But that isn't every day of the week. And that isn't happening in South America right now. So Central America, why are we dealing with that issue? It doesn't make any sense. Our policies and our laws have to change. That's what has to change. Otherwise, we're going to see guys like him at the border every 4 years blaming the other party.
Now we have a border
Last week, a group of Republican House members visited El Paso to decry President Biden's policies. On Friday, a Republican Senate group will visit the southern border. Escobar will host her own.
All they're going to do is blame the other party, as they always do. I've been telling you this for literally years. And I warned you about it last year when I crossed New York State. I said, at the end of this, we're still going to have Republicans mad at Democrats, Democrats mad at Republicans, and no one's solving anything. And they're not going to solve anything. Republicans are now at the border going, Democrats bad. 2 years ago, Democrats at the border going, Republicans bad. And then 4 years from now, whoever's in charge, they'll be doing exactly the opposite again.
Congressional delegation here in El Paso this weekend.
All of these Republican delegations that are coming to the border, what is unsettling to me is the way they use the border as a prop.
Because Democrats don't. Democrats don't. Only Republicans do. Stop. You're both guilty. You're playing the same game. Stop acting like, oh, Democrats wouldn't do it as a prop. Only Republicans would. No, Democrats too. Both of you do it.
All of that moves us further away from a real dialogue and real conversations.
We don't need real dialogues and real conversations. We need serious policy changes and a whole new concept of immigration on our borders. And I'm going to cover that in 5 seconds, 5 minutes.
Or we're going to have this conversation every single year.
Those solutions may be harder to find with Washington's political wars now being waged on the border.
And at no point did she actually say why. That's what it said. There was no why. They didn't bring up the actual why. They just brought up, here's what's happening, which is nice. It's PBS and it's nice, but it didn't actually do anything. So you might say to yourself, all right, that's okay, because Biden's going to fix it. He's been talking about fixing it. And I'm going to give you that. He has been talking about it. The one thing, excuse me, that Biden has done relatively well is talk about it. He's talked better than Trump has. Has he acted better? No, he has not. He has talked better, and I'll give him that. Biden is a nicer, politer, more empathetic speaker than Trump was. Because you hear me say often, Trump projected power, Biden projects empathy. So he's a nice talker. But now what's he going to do? So far, same old, same old. Watch what Biden said in his most recent talk. This is only a couple days ago. I'll show you this one. You'll see where I'm going with this one immediately. Talking about he's going to put another commission together. Always going to put a commission together or something, team together or something.
To our southern border. And, back when I was vice president, I got a similar assignment, but.
Yeah, back when he was vice president, he got a similar assignment. And he was vice president in 2009. So he was vice president 12 years ago. And he did get a similar assignment 12 years ago.
One of the things we did was we made sure that we got a bipartisan agreement. Democrats and Republicans.
So bipartisan agreement, like that so far. Two parties trying to fix something. What are you going to do? What can America do well? Let's see. America does several things very well. American government does several things very well. Bombs people, good at that. Trashing other people's countries, really good at that. Putting people in prison, great at that. We're good at those things. We're also good at writing checks. We're amazing at those 4. So which part of that did we do? Or did we do something we're not good at?
Provide over $700 million.
Write a check.
To countries in the Northern Triangle to determine the best way to keep people from coming is keep them from wanting to leave.
Now that's true. His talk is good. He's right. So his answer is, don't change our foreign policy. Don't change our laws. Don't create a safe system for people to come to our country. Write the dictators of those countries checks, because what could go wrong? So that's what he did. That's what they did. The Obama administration did that about 10 years ago. But remember the video I showed you at the beginning of this? That was 2014. That was actually the middle of Obama's second term. So I got a feeling that $700 million check that you sent or whatever it was, that didn't work too well, did it? Because they were still coming back then, and they were still coming during Trump, and they're still coming now. So your dollars didn't work. I mean, I know we're good at writing checks. That's one of our skill sets. But that maybe we should have bombed them? I don't know. We're good at bombing or imprison them all. I mean, that's our skill sets. Maybe we should do that instead.
And the reason why so many people were leaving was that
you learned this.
Not only gang violence and trafficking cartels, but
gang violence, trafficking cartels. He mentioned those first because that's the number one reason. Not even close. hands down, number one reason: trafficking cartels and gang violence. So how'd you stop that with your $700 million? You didn't. You just gave them money so they can hire more cops to create more gang violence. Like we did in America. Same thing. Look at that. We care so much, we wanted you to copy us. That's what we did. So we exported more violence to those places to ensure more people come. We could stop our drug war, stop our drug policies. We could stop it. We could stop interfering in their countries. We could do that, but you know,
natural disasters, hurricanes, floods.
How many natural disasters, hurricanes, flood happen every week? They happen. Don't get me wrong, they do. But maybe instead of $700 million, instead of having them fight the drug war with it, have them, I don't know, build better levees or something.
Earthquakes, and so it's not like someone sits around a hand union table somewhere in Guatemala and says, "I got a great idea. Let's sell everything we have, give the money to a coyote, have them take our kids or us to the border of America, take us across, leave us in the desert. We don't speak the language. Won't that be fun?" One of the ways we learned is that if you deal with the problems in country, it benefits everyone.
See, he's right again. This is the thing I like, and I got to tell you, the thing I like about so many Democrats is that they actually are usually very good at describing problems. Generally speaking, that's true. They can say, here's a problem, right? The bad part is their answers are always wrong. That's the problem, right? Here's the problem. See a problem? Now here's something that'll make it worse. No, that's just stop at telling me what the problem is, and then maybe libertarians can try to fix it. The problem is you try to fix it. Don't just tell me what it is and then walk away. You're good at that. Do what you're good at.